With weeks of hype after their first two matches were two of the headline matches in the two biggest pay-per-views of the year at WrestleMania and SummerSlam, Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar were set to make history with the rubber match in the first ever 60-minute Iron Man match on broadcast television, with Vince McMahon opening the show hyping the match, saying the two world-class athletes are gonna raise the bar in the first attempt to advertise a 60-minute match in advance on a TV program, coming on a high-profile show as the SmackDown season premiere episode on UPN for the new 2003 to 2004 TV season, as while there were several matches that went an hour on television in the past 20 years in different companies, none was advertised as a 60-minute match in advance, leading to big intrigue on how receptive the wide audience would be to it, with anticipation to see the viewing patterns of the match just as well as the work in the ring. SmackDown opened with a Benoit and Mysterio vs Rhino and Tajiri tag match going 3 minutes, and with the Iron Man match already set to fill a full hour of television. The SmackDown creative crew pretty much got a week off with no effort required for the show, with perhaps more bell-to-bell ring time on a 2-hour primetime show since the WWF debuted a weekly program on cable television, with SmackDown's first quarter also seeing an ad for Rock's upcoming movie The Rundown, which opens next Friday. With Vince McMahon opening the show in a short promo to hype the main event before being confronted by Taker in his only appearance of the night. Vince, who is usually the biggest viewership mover on television, only had a total of 3 minutes of airtime on the night, with his other segment coming in a backstage skit continuing the angle of him trying to make Stephanie quit as the SmackDown GM to put all the focus on the main event. As with the Iron Man match, which was promoted as the third in company history after the Hart-Michaels WrestleMania 12 and Rock Triple H Judgment Day 2000 matches booked weeks in advance, Angle and Lesnar on the recent House show tour had warm-up matches in preparation for the 60-minute match, and with different things taking place for both in the days leading up to it, the match almost ended up not happening, as with them working long House show matches over the weekend. Brock injured his knee on Sunday to lead to their final warm-up match on Monday being called off after a minute to not risk further injury 24 hours before the TV match, while on Angle's side things were more serious, with Kurt's sister passing away on Monday to lead to both going into the match with different issues personally and professionally. SmackDown had another title match just before the Iron Man match, with Chavo Guerrero returning from injury after 4 months out in the first tag match back of the Guerreros since April, challenging Haas and Benjamin for the tag titles in a match going 14 minutes, ending up with Eddie and Chavo going over to win the belts, with Eddie now holding both the US and tag titles, with the match crossing over 2 quarters, picking up over 300,000 viewers to a first-hour high 3.1 rating, with the second quarter including the SmackDown locker room being shown preparing to watch the Iron Man match coming up next. Lesnar and Angle made their entrances at 8:56 p.m. with the match kicking off at 8:59 to go over the entire second hour of the broadcast, with Angle and Lesnar legitimately going the full hour on the SmackDown tapings on Tuesday, with post-production set to strategically place over the match the 4 to 5 commercial breaks usually airing during an hour of primetime television, with colon commentary noting that in case of a draw at the 60-minute mark, UPN allowed them to go into overtime to stay with the match to its conclusion, with Kurt and Brock opening the first 15 minutes with already 3 falls, with Lesnar hitting Angle with a chair shot to the head for the intentional DQ before scoring 2 straight falls to make it 2-1, as the first quarter of the match saw SmackDown jumping over 600,000 viewers to a 3.4 rating. with the hottest points of a 60-minute match traditionally being the start and the finish. Kurt and Brock also had the unique disadvantage of being interrupted by 4 commercial breaks during the duration of the match, with 2 breaks taking place in a short span in the second quarter of the match between 9:15 to 9:30, which saw the show slightly dropping to a 3.3 rating during the second 15-minute period, as while the WWE and in particular the SmackDown brand over the past year are more receptive to letting TV matches go past the 15-minute mark. Up until the second half of 2002 it was almost unheard of for a match to go through a commercial break in the competitive environment during the Monday Night Wars, with no match during the peak period of the business on all hours of primetime television on Raw, Nitro, Thunder or SmackDown ever going past the 28-minute mark, which was also a unique situation as Bret Hart and Chris Benoit were allowed to go long for a special Owen tribute match on the Nitro broadcast on October 4, 1999. As the second quarter saw Angle scoring his first clean fall of the match with the Angle Slam, followed by Brock going up 4-2 with a belt shot to the head, with the third quarter playing off the live aspect of the match, seeing a fall taking place in a commercial break with Brock going up 5-2 with a superflex entering the final quarter, as the commercial-heavy 30 minutes in the middle saw the show dropping around 300,000 viewers, with the final 15 minutes set to go uninterrupted after taking the final commercial break at 9:41 p.m. With him trailing by 3 falls with 10 minutes to go, Angle started the comeback, scoring 2 falls in the next 6 minutes, first with a running superflex followed by him finally making Brock tap to the ankle lock after several attempts in the past 55 minutes, building to the finish with Brock trying to run down the clock with Angle going after him to equalize, to end up with Brock surviving the ankle lock to win the match and the title in an all-time memorable match for several reasons, with the final quarter of the match spiking big with over 1 million viewers to a peak 3.9 rating, as the viewing patterns indicated that the mass audience was interested in the finish and result of the match, but with knowledge of them going 60 minutes in advance guaranteeing it taking place in the 9:45 to 10 p.m. quarter, which is when the massive viewership jump took place, with SmackDown overall drawing a routine 3.2 rating with 5.2 million viewers, with Angle vs Lesnar over the 60 minutes gaining over 1.3 million viewers in total to peak at over 6.3 million viewers.